The milk dripped slowly down his face. His tray had already been flipped, his lunch a mess on the floor. But it was the laughter that broke him. The whole cafeteria fell silent, not because of shock, but because of familiarity. Everyone knew what was happening. Again. Zane stood frozen, milk sliding down his forehead, dripping into his collar. His lips trembled, but he kept them shut. His body shook, not just from embarrassment, but from holding back the storm inside him. His lunch, jollof rice, which his mom had carefully packed in a Tupperware, was now scattered across the floor. The orange stain spread like spilled blood beneath him. Laughter erupted from the far-right table where Brent and Logan always sat, two huge senior boys who looked more like bouncers than high school students. Brent clapped sarcastically while Logan mimicked a tribal dance, stomping his foot, mocking Zane's culture. "Yo, Zulu boy! You forgot your jungle sauce!" Brent shouted. Zane wanted to vanish. He could feel eyes on him, recording him, laughing at him, or worse, pitying him. He blinked away the tears and walked away, slow, quiet, the sticky sound of his wet sneakers slapping the tiled floor. Nobody helped him. Not one person. 2 months ago, Zane was the excited kid stepping into Roosevelt High for the first time. His family had just moved from Lagos to the US after his dad got a big IT job in Illinois. They were hopeful. This was supposed to be a new chapter, a better life. Roosevelt High was known for its top scores, advanced science programs, and Ivy League college links. It was also known, though not officially, as the whitest school in the county. Zane was the only black boy in the 10th grade, and one of only 3 black students in the entire school. But he didn't mind, not at first. He was used to standing out. What he wasn't used to was being hated for it. He crushed his schoolwork. First in math. First in science. His essays got pinned on the notice board. His brain was his pride. But Brent and Logan didn't like it. They were senior football players, loud, spoiled, and untouchable. Their fathers were sponsors of the school's new gym. Their mothers hosted fundraisers. Their grades were terrible, but their names always ended up on the leadership wall. They hated how Zane got attention for being smart. And they hated him even more for ignoring their insults. "Yo, Wakanda! You writing another letter to your pet lion? Why you always sitting alone? Planning to curse us? You smell like spicy goat, bro." Every week it got worse. They threw paper balls at him, knocked his books down, tripped him in the hallway. One day, Brent even shoved him in the bathroom and flushed his homework. Zane reported them. Mr. Daniels, his homeroom teacher, barely looked up from his desk. "Those boys are a little wild, yes. But you must learn to be strong, Zane. They're from important families." Zane stared at him, eyes wide. "So, I should just keep being treated like garbage?" Mr. Daniels sighed. "Just focus on your studies. Don't create problems." That night, Zane skipped dinner. He lied to his mom, saying he had a project. Locked the door. Sat on the floor with his hoodie pulled low. He plugged in his headphones. The drill music hit his soul like thunder. Hard beats. Angry bars. Words about pain, power, revenge. He played the same song on repeat. "They kicked me when I was low / but I'll rise like smoke / no crown on my head / but I still rule the block." He wanted to scream. He wanted to cry. But instead, he just sat in silence, rocking slightly. Outside the door, his mother knocked gently. "Zane, baby, you want some soup?" "No, Ma. I'm not hungry." "You sure? You didn't eat all day." "I'm fine," he snapped louder than he meant to. Silence followed. Then footsteps walked away. But someone else heard the voice. Malik, his big brother. The champion. Undefeated. Feared in the ring. Malik was home for just 2 weeks after winning another state title. He was supposed to be resting, training, keeping his energy up. But when he heard that crack in Zane's voice, something stirred in him. He paused his music, walked to the door, knocked once, didn't wait for permission, opened. Zane didn't even look up. His little fists were clenched tight, his eyes red. Malik knelt beside him. "What's going on?" "Nothing. You've been listening to sad gangsta music for 3 days straight. You missed dinner again. You look like you haven't smiled in a year. You want to tell me again that it's nothing?" Zane swallowed hard. His voice came out like a whisper. "They poured milk on me today." Malik froze. "What?" Zane nodded, barely holding the tears. They flipped my tray. Then, Brent poured his milk on my head." There was a pause. A long cold pause. Malik stood up slowly. He didn't yell. He didn't threaten. He just said 2 words. Start training. He didn't laugh anymore. He didn't speak unless spoken to. He didn't even look up when his mother placed food on his desk. He just stared at the wall like a prisoner waiting for a sentence. Zayn had changed. The boy who used to sing along to Afrobeat while brushing his teeth now moved like a ghost around the house. He no longer watched cartoons with his little sister. He didn't argue with his dad about football teams. He barely touched his phone. And worst of all, he stopped smiling. The once brilliant kid who loved being top of his class was now silent in every class. He answered questions when called on, but there was no pride behind his voice. No sparkle in his eyes. Just silence. The bullying had done its job. It had swallowed him. At home, his parents noticed but didn't know what to do. They thought maybe it was the culture shock. Or maybe homesickness. His mother tried cooking his favorite egusi soup, but it remained untouched on his plate. His father asked if he wanted to change schools, but Zayn refused. I'm fine was all he said. But Malik knew better. That night, Malik waited until everyone was asleep. Then he knocked on Zayn's door. No answer. He opened it anyway. Zayn sat cross-legged on the bed, scrolling mindlessly through videos. Not TikToks. Not memes. But videos of boys fighting. Boxing clips. Gang confrontations. Revenge scenes from movies. Malik sat beside him. The glow of the screen lit up both their faces. You watching street fights now? Malik asked softly. Zayn didn't reply. You thinking about fighting back? Zayn shrugged. I'm not like you, he finally muttered. You're a beast. I'm just a brain. Malik smiled, but his eyes were sharp. Brains build bombs, bro, don't ever forget that. Zayn blinked. Come with me, Malik said. To where? It's midnight. Malik stood. To the basement. Their father had set up a small home gym downstairs, mostly untouched, except for Malik's training gear. Punching bags. Mats. Dumbbells. Gloves. Zayn stood there awkwardly, watching Malik pull out a pair of gloves. I'm not fighting those guys, Zayn said quickly. I didn't say you would. Then why, gay? I'm teaching you how to punch, Malik interrupted. Not for revenge. For strength. For confidence. So you never feel powerless again. Zayn hesitated. Then slowly, he took the gloves. The first few nights were hard. Zayn had never punched anything before. His arms were weak. He got tired fast. He hated the sweat, the soreness, the pain in his knuckles. He even cried once when Malik pushed him too hard. But Malik didn't stop. You're not just learning to fight, he said one night as Zayn collapsed on the mat. You're learning to stand. For yourself. For every other kid who's being bullied in silence. Zayn looked up, breathing heavily. They're still going to laugh at me tomorrow. Malik leaned down. But will you still care like you did yesterday? Zayn didn't answer. But the seed had been planted. At school, something strange started happening. Zayn still sat alone, but his posture had changed. He started lifting his chin, holding eye contact, smiling just a little. A calm, strange confidence replaced his sadness. Brent and Logan noticed. Yo, Wakanda King is walking like he owns the place. Logan whispered one day. They tried their usual tricks, tripping him, mocking his lunch, but Zayn didn't flinch. He didn't fight back, but he didn't shrink either. That scared them more than any insult. One lunch break, Brent pushed his tray. Zayn caught it. Didn't drop it. Didn't blink. Pick another target, he said calmly. Brent laughed awkwardly and walked away. But something had shifted. And Malik? He saw it. That night, he clapped for Zayn during training. You're ready, he said. For what? Zayn asked. Malik just smiled. You'll know when it comes. When Zayn landed his first punch square on the back, something in him cracked, and something stronger rose up in its place. It was just past midnight. The whole house was quiet except for the low thud, thud, thud of Zayn's fists hitting the heavy punching bag. Sweat dripped from his forehead. His arms ached. His legs wobbled. But he didn't stop. Malik stood behind him, arms crossed, watching every move like a lion guarding his cub. Left. Right. Hook. Again. Malik barked. Zayn obeyed, his knuckles raw under the gloves. His shirt clung to his back like a second skin. His chest burned. But his eyes, they were alive. Gone was the quiet boy who used to cry in silence, hiding behind books and fake smiles. In his place, a quiet fire had started to burn. Each punch said something. You are not weak. You are not invisible. You are not broken. Malik had never seen his brother like this. In the beginning, Zayn could barely last 10 minutes. He got tired easily, tripped over his own feet, and couldn't hold a proper stance. But now he trained for hours. After dinner, after homework, after everyone had gone to sleep. It became their secret ritual. While the world slept, the warrior was being born. One night, Malik tossed Zayn a new pair of gloves. Black, leather, shining like armor. "What's this?" Zayn asked, catching them. "Custom made. You earned them." Zayn smiled for the first time in days. A real smile. "Thanks, bro." Malik nodded. "We're not done yet, though. Now we train your mind." "My mind." Malik walked to the side and returned with a folded paper. On it was a list. Boxer's code. 1. Never punch first, but always finish it. 2. Power is nothing without control. 3. Your fight is bigger than you. 4. Silence is strategy, not weakness. 5. Protect your mind harder than you protect your fists. Zayn read the rules slowly, then looked up. "This is deep." Malik grinned. "Fighting isn't just about fists. It's about who you become when life pushes you." Zayn nodded slowly. "So, why are we really doing this?" Malik stepped closer. "Because you're not just fighting Brent and Logan. You're fighting every teacher who looks the other way. Every system that favors rich white boys. Every kid out there too scared to speak." Zayn's throat tightened. That night, he hit the bag harder than ever before. But with the strength came new challenges. At school, Brent and Logan hadn't completely stopped. They still mocked him under their breath. They still bumped into him by mistake. But something about Zayn had changed. He walked taller. He looked people in the eye. Even the teachers noticed. "Zayn, you've been very focused lately," Ms. Gallagher said during English class. "I've got a goal," he replied quietly. "What goal?" He smiled. "To never feel small again." One day during lunch, Logan tried it. He grabbed Zayn's tray and raised it like he was about to flip it again. Everyone watched. But before Logan could move, Zayn calmly took the tray back, didn't yell, didn't flinch, didn't blink. Logan hesitated. For the first time, he looked nervous. Then Zayn leaned in and whispered something only Logan could hear. "Next time, I won't stop my hands." Logan froze. Zayn turned and walked away, tray still in hand. The cafeteria buzzed. Rumors spread. The African kid had changed. People started whispering. Someone even asked if he joined a gang. Nope. He just discovered his power. That night in the basement, Malik handed Zayn a hoodie. Black. On the back, the words were printed in bold red. "Built in silence. Born in fire." Zayn held it, speechless. "It's almost time," Malik said. "Time for what?" Malik's jaw clenched. "Time to remind bullies that not every lion stays in the cage." Zayn laughed a little. "But what if I'm still scared?" Malik nodded, eyes softening. "Then fight scared. Just don't back down." Zayn put on the hoodie. It fit perfectly. And for the first time since the day he got milk poured on his head, he felt powerful. The boys cornered Zayn near the school fence like they always did, laughing, towering, fearless. But this time, they didn't know that a lion was watching, just beyond the gate. It was Friday. The sun was high, the halls loud, and students were rushing for the weekend buzz. Zayn moved through the crowd with his hoodie up, his black one. The one Malik gave him. The one that made him feel protected, even in the lion's den. Brent and Logan had been quiet all week. Too quiet. Zayn knew something was coming. During sixth period, he caught them whispering behind the lockers. Logan glanced his way and smirked. Brent cracked his knuckles. Zayn's stomach turned. Not from fear this time, it was something else. Focus. Breathe. Shoulders up. After school, Zayn waited by the gate, pretending to tie his shoe. But his heart beat like a drum. They were coming. And Malik. Malik was already there. Earlier that morning, Malik had looked his brother dead in the eyes. Today's the day. You ready? Zayn had swallowed hard. I don't know. Malik placed a hand on his shoulder. Don't do anything dumb. Don't swing first. Let them try. If they touch you, I'll be waiting. Where? Malik smirked. Behind the blue trash bin. Black car. Windows down. Back at the school gate, Zayn stood tall. Logan and Brent approached like vultures, laughing too loud. What's up, go boy? Thought we forgot about you. Logan sneered. Brent leaned in. You been acting tough lately. Got your little boxing gloves at home? Or do you need a diaper, Wakanda? Zayn said nothing. They surrounded him. "Speak up, Jungle Prince," Brent barked. Students nearby paused. Some took out their phones. Others moved closer. One girl whispered, "He's really not running." Zane stood still. No shaking. No tears. Then Brent shoved him hard against the fence. And that was the moment everything changed. A loud car door slammed shut. Heads turned. A tall, dark-skinned man stepped out of a sleek black car parked just beyond the gate. He wore a fitted tracksuit, gold chain, and a cap pulled low. It was Malik. But the real shock? Someone gasped. "Wait, is that? No way. That's Malik Jabiru, the undefeated light heavyweight champion. From ESPN? The one who knocked out Rico Torres." Phones came out instantly. People started filming. The two bullies froze. Malik walked slowly toward the gate, hands in his pockets. His voice was calm. "You really put your hands on my little brother again?" Brent stammered. "We didn't know he was your..." Malik stepped through the open gate. "You didn't know. But now you do." The crowd formed a loose circle. Malik didn't touch anyone. He just looked at them with eyes that had seen blood, pain, and victory. Eyes that made grown men tap out. Then he turned to Zane. "Are you okay?" Zane nodded, breath shaking. Malik faced the boys again. "I told him not to fight you. I told him to be patient. I told him to be silent." He stepped closer. "But me? I didn't make that promise." Brent backed up. "Listen, man, we didn't mean..." Malik raised his hand. "I'm not here to fight you. I'm here to remind you that not everyone is afraid of you. That the next time you try to ruin someone's life for fun, they might not be alone." He pointed to the phones. "Smile. The whole school's watching." Logan's face turned red. Brent tried to walk away. Malik's voice stopped them cold. "Apologize?" The boys hesitated. "Now." Brent turned to Zane, shame flooding his face. "I'm sorry, bro. For everything." Logan nodded quickly. "Yeah, we were messed up." Zane stared at them, feeling nothing. No joy. No triumph. Just peace. He whispered, "I forgive you." The crowd clapped. Not for the drama, but for the justice. Malik turned to leave. But then sirens howled. Someone had called an ambulance. The principal came running. Teachers rushed out. "What happened here?" Mr. Daniels shouted. Students showed their videos. A girl yelled he didn't fight. His brother just warned them. The principal pulled Malik aside. "We'll need to talk. This is serious." But before anything could happen, something shocking occurred. Brent stepped forward. He looked at the staff and said loudly, "This guy? He didn't hurt us. We hurt his brother for weeks. We bullied him, laughed at him. He only showed up to protect him." Logan nodded. "Suspend us if you want, but don't touch him. He was right." The principal blinked. The students nodded. And just like that, the heroes were clear. Zane and Malik. That night, the video went viral on local news. Boxing champion defends bullied brother without throwing a punch. Comments flooded in. "I cried watching this. This needs to be a movie. Protect black kids at all costs." Real power is calm. Zane sat on the couch in his hoodie. Malik passed him a cold soda. "You did good, warrior." Zane smiled. "You too, champ." They clinked cans. Silence. Then laughter. Real laughter for the first time in months. When Zane walked through the school gate that Monday morning, the whispers didn't hurt anymore. The stares didn't shrink him. For once in his life, they were staring for the right reasons. It had been 2 days since the video took over the internet. 2 days since Malik calmly walked into that schoolyard and showed the whole city what true power looked like. Zane hadn't left the house all weekend. Not because he was hiding, but because he was resting, healing, reflecting. The messages came nonstop. From classmates. From strangers. From people in other countries. "You're brave. You gave me hope. My little brother is going through the same thing. Thank you." And Zane? He just sat there in shock. The boy who once locked himself in his room now had the world watching him, and this time, they were clapping. Malik walked in Sunday night with 2 things. A brand new pair of sneakers and a letter. Zane opened the sneakers first, clean black and gold Nikes with his initials stitched on the side. Then the letter. It was handwritten. From Brent. "Dear Zane, you didn't deserve any of it. I was cruel because I was empty. I hurt you because I hated myself. My dad's always yelling at me. Logan's the only person who doesn't treat me like trash, and we used that bond the wrong way. I saw the way you stood that day. Calm, brave, silent. You won. Not just against us, but against everything we represent. Thank you for not hitting me back. I'm working on being better. Promise. Brent. Zayn held the letter in his hands for a long time, then looked at Malik. Should I forgive him? Malik smiled gently. Forgiveness doesn't mean weakness. It means you've already won. Zayn folded the letter, placed it in his drawer, and exhaled deeply. He was ready for Monday. When Zayn stepped through the school gates that morning, something was different. The air, the eyes, the energy. People moved aside as he walked in, not with fear but respect. Some nodded, some whispered, some even smiled. A girl from 11th grade walked up and said, "You inspired my little brother." "Thank you." Zayn blinked. He nodded politely. Inside, his locker was spotless. Someone had cleaned it. There was a sticky note stuck to the top. "Keep rising. You're not alone anymore." A silent fan. During lunch, he sat at his usual corner. Only he wasn't alone. One by one, students came to sit with him. Kids who were once invisible. Quiet. Nervous. It wasn't a crowd. It wasn't noisy. It was just solidarity. Brent walked by with his tray. Stopped. Looked at Zayn. Zayn nodded. Brent nodded back. No words. Just peace. Later that week, the school held a special assembly about bullying. Zayn was asked to speak. First he hesitated, but Malik said, "Tell your story, even if your voice shakes." Zayn stood on that stage under bright lights and said, "I was bullied. I was hurt. I almost gave up. But then I learned something. Strength isn't just in fists. It's in not letting the world change your heart. I forgive those who hurt me. I thank the ones who stood by me. And to anyone suffering in silence, speak up. You matter. You are enough. Even when they say you're not." The auditorium was silent for a beat. Then applause. Loud. Real. Emotional. Even some teachers had tears in their eyes. By the end of the term, Zayn had not only kept his top spot in class, he had also won Student of the Month, been invited to join the school's Young Leaders Club, and was selected to appear in the district's mental health awareness video campaign. All because he chose to rise instead of break. At home, Malik handed him a framed photo. It was from the day of the incident, Zayn in his hoodie standing tall with Malik behind him and a crowd in the background. At the bottom was a quote, "Built in silence, born in fire." Zayn hung it in his room, right above his desk. Every time he looked at it, he remembered. The boy who once hid in silence became a king without ever throwing a punch. This story teaches that silence should never be mistaken for weakness. Even in the face of bullying and injustice, choosing peace, speaking up, and standing tall takes true courage. Sometimes the strongest warriors are the ones who suffer quietly until one moment changes everything. Family, self-worth, and standing up for what's right will always win, even when the system seems unfair. Never judge someone by how small they look. You don't know who's standing behind them.